What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this conversation/reality chat. All right, guys. I don't watch Love and Marriage Detroit. I tried in the very beginning, but it's... The men on the show, I've talked about this before, they just remind me of the loser husbands that are on Love and Marriage Huntsville and former husbands, if you know, and remember that Melody, she got rid of her trash bag a few years ago, and kudos to her. Couldn't be more proud of the woman, okay? Best decision she's ever made, and has just continued to make great decisions since she decided to drop that zero. But anyway, I saw something because it was, I want to say it was yesterday, it was Sunday, and I was just getting some work done, and I decided to just play something in the background. And Love and Marriage Detroit, it was one of those things that you could play on demand. So I just decided to let it play, like, wonder what's going on. Well, on this most recent episode of the show, Marsau was on the show. And listen, I want to play this clip. I hope that you can hear it well, because it was just a joke to me. But just to give you the premise for those of you who don't watch it, and I'm assuming there's a lot of people who don't watch this show. Love and Marriage Detroit, it is one of Carlos King's shows in his arsenal, in his arena of reality shows that he has produced, right? And Marsau and his loser brother Maurice, they're both from Michigan. So when I heard that Love and Marriage Detroit was going to be a thing, I assumed that Carlos was going to, in some way, trying to incorporate at least one, if not both, of the brothers on the show. Well, lo and behold, Marsau was on this episode. And when I saw what I saw, I really laughed because I thought it was funny. Because I'm just going to play the clip to let you listen, and then I'll continue with my commentary, because I just thought it was funny. I really thought it was funny. But before I play the clip, one of the guys who's a husband on the show, I think his name is Anthony. Anyway, based on the couple of episodes that I did watch in the beginning of this show's season, I didn't care for him. He just seemed a bit definitely over the top, if you will. I'll just put it like that. I'm not going to say anything about his preferences or anything. He is a married man. He's married to a beautiful young lady, and they have a few kids. But he just seemed like a whiny little bitch, in my opinion. And I don't even call men that. But if it calls for that, then, you got to call him like you see him. And that's what I kind of saw him as. But he was supposed to be doing what he called something called a man's movement, which it's me and the grammar. The plural for man would be men, right? Not mans. So to hear man's movement, that just sounded weird and off to me anyway. But he's weird and off, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But he's wanting to do this man's movement, and the man's movement would have men in the area doing things to either inspire young men or men who may be going down the wrong path, and just trying to help mentor, encourage, inspire, and things like that. Noble, to say the least. But is he the person for it? I don't really know. But again, they're on a reality show, so they have to have a storyline. So to me, it just sounded like something that he made up out of the clear blue sky to make it seem like he's something more than what he really is, in terms of trying to create some sort of movement like that. But Marsau was on this episode, and I'm going to play this clip so you can hear what he had to say.
How you doing, man? What's going on? How you doing? Vacation is over, and it's time to get back to business. So Bravo hit me up. He mentioned to me about adding another speaker to the lineup. We're going to have a discussion to see if we can make that happen.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I just love to see you in action, dog, running your businesses.
You know, it's early morning, so we just kind of like getting stuff, you know. But as far as the man's move, man, I mean, I told you I was going to reach out, you know, to a couple people, and I really feel like not to step on your toes or anything. You know, I got a couple mentors around here. This guy from the Metro Detroit area. Doesn't live here anymore, but he built a really, really good empire, and you probably heard him. I don't know if you know Marsauscott.
Nothing can stop me. I got the power. I'm feeling lofty. I got the X factor.
Marsau is a great businessman who has Black Cigar Lounge. He has the Spirit Company, Black Bottle. He has a contracting company. I mean, this guy literally has it all. You know, he literally put Huntsville on the map for what he has. So if I'm going to speak, why not bring a guy to actually look up to that's doing the same and better than me? You know?
I had to pause it right there because I think that's really a joke to say that Marsau, put Huntsville on the map. We know that that's definitely not the truth. And to say that he has an empire, that is definitely up for debate because, yeah, we definitely know about him and Letitia doing the chocolate in a bottle. But from what I heard, you can let me know in the comment section. I don't have all of the details on it. But from what I heard, that's not actually his company. It's something that they partnered up with someone on. And that's one of the reasons why it happened so fast. So my knowledge about it is they don't own chocolate in a bottle. They are glorified brand ambassadors, similar to Diddy and Ciroc and DeLeon. And we know that the news came out about that, which I did speak about. I did a conversation about that. Whereas the company is suing Diddy, and Diddy, it was revealed that Diddy only put in $1,000 in that venture, but it was being put out there as if that was actually a company that he owned. So everything that appears as it is isn't always the way that it appears. So to say that Marsau has an empire and that he put Huntsville on the map, we know that that's not the truth. If anyone put Huntsville on the map, if we want to put anyone in terms of being a person that put Huntsville on the map, it would have to be Melody. She was the one that pitched this show. This was her idea. So let's just be clear. It definitely was not Marsau, and it definitely wasn't her ex-husband. Definitely wasn't, because he was just along for the ride. So chocolate in a bottle, from what my knowledge is not his company. The Black Cigar Lounge, you know something, I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but I probably am not the first to bring it up. The name Black, when I first saw it, it was like, why is that name familiar? And it really shouldn't have been that far of a stretch. But the singing group Black, did they not trademark that name? I know that the group Black consisted of Shamari DeVoe, the young lady that unfortunately lost her life years ago, Natina Reed, and the other young lady, forgive me, I don't remember her name, but the group that was founded, I wouldn't say founded, but discovered by the late Lisa Left Eye Lopez of the group TLC, that was their name, Black. Now, I know their name was not Black Cigar Lounge, but every time I see them wearing these shirts with black on it, if I was Shamari, I would probably contest it. To me, it's something about that I don't like, especially more so now that I put the name Black and the group Black together and seeing them constantly parading that name. And anytime I ever hear about the lounge, the restaurant, it's mainly only them and people that they know that patronize it. So I wouldn't necessarily call that an empire. And then when it comes to the construction business, they allegedly have all of these lawsuits, and they still can't even build Scott Manor on all of the acreage that they own. So Empire, that definitely is questionable, as well as the fact that him being the one that put Huntsville on the map, that guy was trying to give Marsau too much credit.
What's up, Marsau? Speaking of the guy.
How's it going?
Sir, brother?
Bravo.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what up, though?
Yeah, what up, though, Marsau, man?
It's a pleasure to meet you, brother.
Pleasure on mine.
Hey, sir, right here, man.
Welcome home,
I was just talking about you, man.
So, you know, you being from Detroit, too, I gotta ask. King, CMA.
We Metro, ain't you? You find
Bro,
it?
I'm funny.
Yeah, you find that same difference.
Around here, we from Pontiac.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, you right
I'm
here.
out of town from Detroit.
Yeah.
Hey, we all family, though. I've known Bravo a long time. I trust Bravo. I know he's gonna bring a quality guy to add on to the mass movement.
So I'm thinking, presented the ideal of kind of you speaking, I really feel like that it's almost right up his alley as far as what we're looking for, with the man's movement. I mean, people need to see what you built. And I know you guys are coming back and looking at, putting another black here, but, before you even guys, break ground on that, I still want your vision to be displayed, to the people that he brings out. I mean, he has a great outreach.
So what we're doing is we're getting information out to the community, to all the men, on how to vote, how to understand policy, dealing with men's health. We also, with the young men, with us business owners, we want to help do placements to where they do internships, training. So also a business like Bravo or yours, training youngsters how to come in, they can intern, or they might have a job depending on how your business set up. Right. And then they're actually learning, y'all like mentors to them. Mm-hmm. And it's like changing mindset.
The black man has not been, they're the victim of a lot of propaganda.
I believe that too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you start looking at this stuff, dog, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
Like we not as violent as people say they are. We
police.
No, we over police, and we not as violent. We are much more thinkers. We're much more entrepreneurs. Where you're at, where I'm at, is because we saw it and we wanted it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And something inside of us built it and said we knew it was possible.
100%.
I think Marsau is going to be a great addition to the man's movement. I think he's about 85% there, understanding what the man's movement is about. He's coming in with his own ideas and thoughts of things, which I think is going to help push things forward even faster.
I personally would love it if you did come in, and spoke for.
Definitely got to do it.
For this right here?
Yeah, we want you to speak on man's movement. I need you.
Yeah, man.
And we want to build this brotherhood and this partnership, from Michigan to there and wherever else we all go together. I just know that we can do big things.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for the invitation, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love it, man. Just let me know what I need to do. Major topics I can fall in line, but yeah.
All right, so you heard that, and it's funny to me when Marsau speaks to anyone, when they're having a conversation with him most of the time, he's looking at them with this look of suspicion, and it's like he's trying to think of what he's going to say next, and his response isn't really to answer the question directly. It's like always going around the mulberry bush. The guy simply was talking to him about this, what he calls it, man's movement, and what the goal of it was and what it, is supposed to be, and, wanting to have him participate. And his response is, there's a lot of propaganda there about black men. We're not as violent. So you're basically saying, well, we're violent, but we're not as violent as they say we are. He's just weird. I don't care for him at all. But he really perked up when Anthony mentioned about having interns. You want that free labor. You want those interns, those people that you don't have to pay to do that work, I guess. But how they tried to have him roll up like he was this big boss, like he's Rick Ross, the biggest boss, rolling up in the big black SUV with the sunglasses on. But all I could hear in my head when he, rolled up and he got out of the SUV and he had on his little green shorts is, who wears short shorts? Oh my God, because he had on some tight green shorts. It just was not flattering to him at all. Had on the sunglasses, just trying to look attractive and, we know he's got the legs, hips, and breasts like Melody said that he has, but he's trying to, I guess, tone it up a little bit, but still unattractive. But his attitude and his characteristics are even more unattractive. I just thought it was funny to hear this guy on Love and Marriage Detroit describing Marsau as this boss who has this empire and who put Huntsville on the map. I laughed when I heard it. I was like, wow, they're really stretching. Was this in the script? Did Carlos write this about Marsau? That this guy, I think his name, they call him Bravo on this show, was trying to describe Marsau to the guy Anthony, who's one of the husbands on Love and Marriage Detroit. And if you watch the episode, because like I said, I was just doing some other things and decided to put it on the on demand, let it play. And I was just watching in passing, and I didn't know that this movement was going to be happening on that same episode. So it was kind of a joke because it was only maybe about 12 people or so, about a dozen people that showed up. And the way he was describing it, it was almost like it was going to be the next thing to the Million Man March that was going to be happening there in Detroit. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it, not to talk about the episode, but just to talk about the joke that is Marsau and how they try to just play him up as if he is this boss that has this empire and how he put Huntsville on the map. It's just a slap in the face, I feel, to Melody. I don't think that she gets, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think she gets anything from these spinoffs that Carlos is doing. And I know some people have said, well, the idea that she brought to Carlos was about real estate, sort of like an HGTV situation, and Carlos did something completely different. So it's not the same thing. So you can't say that what she brought to Carlos is what he's actually doing. Well, if it was not for her, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing, right? So I don't know if she gets anything from these spinoffs, but to hear Carlos, in my personal opinion, I believe that Carlos is the mastermind behind this, to try to put Marsau on this pedestal and platform as if he is this boss from Huntsville that put Huntsville on the map. I just really feel that that's a slap in the face to Melody. But listen, when it comes to Carlos and the things that happens on this network to Melody, it really doesn't surprise me at all. It just really sucks and it's so disrespectful. But what they say about Black women and how we are the most unprotected and the most disrespected. So I get it, especially being someone who is in business myself and being an African American woman. It sucks, but it's just kind of par for the course. And we just do the best that we can to get through and make it to another day and be better with each and every day that we are going through these things and getting over and rising above the BS and succeeding in spite of all of it. And that's exactly what Melody is doing. But yeah, guys, let me know if you caught that. Let me know if you didn't, but you just listened to this, and let me know your thoughts about it. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.